Hello everyone and welcome to a What's Sold video. This is going to be everything that sold for me on eBay for the first week of November, so November 1st to November 7th, and let's go ahead and get started. First item is this Brooks Brothers tie. I do like picking up and reselling ties, specifically these Brooks Brothers ties. They are made in the USA of Italian silk, and this one sold for $11.90 and I paid $3 for this at a thrift store. This is a vintage sheath dress from the 90s. I picked this up because it was a 24, which was amazing. It's so rare for me to find dead stock vintage pieces, and I'm really excited that I was able to give someone a great price on this. Sold it for $15.90 on an offer, and they already left me feedback that they loved it, so that makes me really happy. This is a Japanese version of the Attack on Titan manga, so it's in the original Japanese language. It does the back to front. And I found this at a thrift store for $1, and I offered it up on Whatnot and nobody wanted it, so I sold it on eBay, and it sold for my full asking price of $7.87. So I made a couple dollars off of this. This is a vintage piece I had to repair. It is also from the 90s. I originally picked this up for myself, but I decided that I didn't actually want it because the arms were not long enough. The rest of the fit was great, but the arms weren't long enough for my long limbs, and it sold for $18. The repair I had to make is that I had to repair the lining. It had frayed and separated in places, so I just ladder stitched it back in the seams, and we are good to go, and I'm really happy that I was able to save a vintage piece from the landfill. I picked this up at a Goodwill by the boys' house for, I believe, $5. So originally picked it up for myself, didn't work out, but I was able to fix it and find it a new home. I've had this for forever. This came in a ThredUp DIY t-shirt box, and I've had this for years, and it was getting to the point where I was just gonna donate it, and unfortunately Matthew Perry passed away, and I do believe that is why this sold. It sold for $7.90 and the buyer paid for shipping. I have a lot of fun memories of Friends. When it came out, I was young, but I do remember like my friends running home because they wanted to, like, had to go home and go watch Friends, because I had one older neighborhood friend, one teenager that like took pity on me and played with me, but I do remember her being like, I have to go home and watch Friends. I didn't watch it at the time. I didn't get to watch it until I was much older, but really cool. You don't need to know that. This is from the big vintage buyout I did, so this is technically all profit. Sold for $25. It is an 80s Breckenridge two-piece set, so top and bottom matched. I actually have a bunch of these, but this was the only size medium. The other ones were all like a size 4, so I'll probably be sitting on those for a while. This is a really cool sweater. You guys know how I love my vintage sweaters. This was a men's size extra large, and it was brown, but it was like a little bit sparkly. Like, it wasn't sparkly, it was just like it had rainbow flecks of fabric. Like from far away it just looked like a plain brown sweater, but when you got up close you realized like it was like rainbow sprinkles throughout it. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. This sold for $19.90, and I'm always happy when I find another vintage sweater a good home. This is a Williamsburg Foundation ornament. It's a cow ornament, a Devon cow actually. And I found a bunch of these, and I've been selling them on and off. I found a bunch of them for $1 each at the Restore in Williamsburg. These are free gifts if you donate like $50 to $100 to the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, so is it really free? But because I found these, I actually donate the money that I make from selling these ornaments to the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, because I do spend a lot of time in Colonial Williamsburg. I have spent a lot of time in Colonial Williamsburg, and I definitely believe in their education mission, and I just really enjoy it there. I spend at least 2 days a month walking with my friends there, and I have spent a lot of money there, so very happy to support that. This is a bolo. I've talked about toile on my channel before. Toile is a type of fabric print that was very popular in the colonial era, where it's like people and landscapes and animals, normally on like a cream color background, and then it's got some kind of print on it like that has that type of motif. Well, Beta brand has their own toile, and that is, instead of just people and animals and trees and landscapes, it also has robots trying to set everything on fire, and I love it. It's called the Robo TW, and not only is it this red and cream color shirt, which I didn't get a chance to really wear before it sold because it sold that fast, But there's also a dress as well. It is a white and black dress. This sold for $31.24. The dresses can go for $60 to $70. So this is definitely a bolo, and Beta brand has always performed pretty well for me when I have found it. So hopefully they will continue to print other things with this amazing, amazing toile. But if not, I am grateful that I at least got to see it in person. This is an amazing sale. This is a vintage pair of Double H jump boots. So jump boots are, you know, military grade boots. They have like the steel toe. These ones were in immaculate condition. I just had to like buff them out a little bit with a horsehair brush. I paid $9 for these at a Goodwill. I do pick up shoes. Again, it's just normally when, that's pretty much the only thing I'm picking up is some shoes and like nothing else. And that's kind of what happened in this trip. Miss Moxie has decided to join us. But it sold for my full asking price of $79.87. Now these did take a couple of months to find the right buyer because it was like a men's size 6, women's size 8. And they were a size D, which is a slightly wider width. But I am grateful that I found these, and man, did that make my week. This is a Kingdom Hearts strategy guide from 2005. I found this at the bin, so I paid 25 cents for this. And these strategy guides for these older games can do very well. Mostly they're selling to collectors because you can look up literally anything online now. But collectors buy these, and also people that like played the games when it came out and like this was the only way sometimes you could beat the game. Do it for nostalgia reasons. So sold for $14.87, so I made 10 bucks off of this. Another piece from the bins. I paid 50 cents for this because it was a hardcover. I did check comps for this. I was surprised nobody else had picked this up. It's a zombie survival transport guide in the style of like the vintage car repair magazines. Super funny. Sold for $9.87. I paid 50 cents for that, and that sold really quick. This is from that big book buyout where I did, I bought a whole bunch of brand new books for 10 cents each. This is New Growth of the Soil by Nut Hampson. A bunch of them were like translations of novels from everywhere around the world. Sold for my full asking price of $10.87, so I thought that was great. This was a gorgeous piece. This actually came from a haul I never filmed because I started to list the haul. I was like, all right, I'm gonna list this haul and then I'll do the haul video. And then I started listing the haul and the pieces kept selling, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna do this haul because like at this point I've shipped off so many pieces, it's just a mess. You've already seen several pieces, you just didn't know about it. These what sold videos. So this is a Free People top. I picked this up because I pick up most Free People when I get this for pretty cheap. I paid $4 for this at the Davin Hampton. I think it's the Davin Hampton. I'm pretty sure it was the Davin Hampton. And I was impressed that this mesh was in immaculate condition. You can see Karen did a great job modeling it for me. I think it wasn't until I put it on Karen was able to Google Lens it to where I got the exact name, which does absolutely help in selling it. And this sold, like I said, lightning quick, but it was also just a really beautiful piece. These also came from that big book buyout, but some of them were vintage books, not just new books. These were the Diary of Virginia Woolf volumes 1 through 3, so I paid 30 cents for this, and it sold for $19.90 with free shipping. So I think turning 30 cents into, you know, 15 bucks is pretty great. Ephemera can do well. I've talked about these vintage New Yorkers. I actually got this for free out of a hoarder house. I was like the last hurrah, like I could go in and see if there was anything else I wanted after the final estate sale. And so this is free to me. It sold for my full asking price of $14.87, and someone paid a flat rate, the flat rate envelope rate, because magazines have advertisements in them, so you cannot ship them media mail. So that is what somebody had to pay 10 bucks for it to ship to them, and I'm just really happy that this sold. I only have a few of these left from out of that hoarder house, but again, it's all profit. And people collect these vintage New Yorkers because they have a specific date on them. So films, movies, you know, television use these magazines for sets. People pick them up, be like, on the day you were born, this is what happened in New York. People who love New York buy these as well. People who love art and vintage advertisements, like journal people, buy these too. Some people actually, resellers, buy these. Cut all the vintage advertisements out and sell the, like, just sell the one sheet advertisement on eBay. I just don't got time for that, so. This is a New Columbia PFG shirt. I think this actually came from that same Dav that the Free People came from. Sold for $26.87 at my full asking price, but it was new with tags and it was an XL. So I think I paid like $4 or $5 for this. Really happy about that sale. I've talked about I am trying to do swimsuits. I actually have done pretty successfully with swimsuits, so I feel a little bit more comfortable with that new avenue of reselling. But this is an Athleta swimsuit, absolutely gorgeous. I did find a stock photo. This is normally how, if I include a stock photo, like to do it, so that way like it's my picture and also the stock photo, so like I did my best. Sold for $18, and I found this at the bins. I found this swimsuit at the bins. I'm pretty sure I found this at the bins. So yeah, I paid $1 for it. This was great. Another one of the books from the big book buyout, so I have 10 cents into this. Again, I'm not really necessarily going over the titles because these books aren't going to be worth a whole lot of money if you buy them pre-owned. The only reason why I picked most of them up for resale is because of the fact that they were brand new. So I was able to ask for a higher price to make it worth reselling. So sold for $8.88. It's a gorgeous soft surroundings piece. This was like a lounger dress. It was comfy AF. It was a size large. If it was a size medium, I probably would have kept it. This one was just a little bit too big for me, but this was like, if you live in a cold climate, this is what you want to be wearing around the house. This is like the perfect cozy house dress. I'm not going outside. I'm just gonna sit here with my tea and a book and be cozy with my kitty cat. This sold for $39.05 on an offer, and I'm super excited about this sale. So this week was a good bunch of sales. And then also another old one that I was like finally getting ready to donate, and as soon as I had those thoughts, it sold. This is IE Clothing, not a brand I would necessarily pick up, but I picked this up I think at an estate sale. I paid like $1 for it, which is why I picked it up. It did have a little tiny like mark on the leather that I could not get out, but it still sold for $15. You can see I actually modeled this. That's how long I've had it, is I modeled it instead of Karen. So it's been here for a while, but I'm super happy that it finally sold. I made profit off of it and I didn't have to redonate it. But that is everything that sold for me. A couple really great sales. And yeah, November went pretty well for me as far as my reselling business goes. There was some other stuff going on that was absolutely terrible, but as far as reselling went, it's been a good month. So I will share more sales with you later on, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye! Bye.
Hero, 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 hero. I wanna be a hero, hero. Oh, the hero.